Hey everybody, going out to check on fields. I need to spray soon, and today is just too windy, but tomorrow should be good. With the air conditioner? Yeah? Or do you want me to roll the window down? The main reason I'm coming out here, other than to just check on the status of the corn, it's been a week since that storm. I also need to go out and check and see if there's any places where we need to replant because it was either too muddy or it didn't come up, or I forgot to turn something on, which has happened too often probably. We need to get out of the house. It's still hot as hell out and it's really hazy. I can already see in the back of that field I'm not going to like it. I'm going to try and get up super early and get over here and spray before the wind comes up. It's actually looking pretty good here. This is a crappy kind of piece of ground that's right by the road, but it's not doing terrible. It's a little better than I thought it was. It looks a lot better than it did. It's gotten considerably taller. So you got a lot of them that look pretty decent, and they're coming up. See how it's all green in the middle? That's still going. Then you got stuff like Morgan walking in front of the camera, like that one where it's struggling, but there's some green there trying to poke through. What we need to spray for is these hard weeds. This stuff right here. You don't get that sprayed and they'll get taller. Those stems will turn into a tree trunk and they won't take any chemicals to clean them up or kill them out. It's swampy down here. Whoops. Did you find some water? Oh, look at you getting all muddy. Good job. I'm a little more particular than Morgan, so I'm going to try and find somewhere to cross where it's not wet. Did you find more water? Looks like a deer's been walking through here. Hey, can you try not to run down the corn any worse than it is? Here's what happens when you flip the wrong switch on the planter. You get big. Oh God, every year. It's always got to happen by the road so everybody in the county can see it when they drive by. That beeping in the planter, that's why it beeps so loud, is to tell you, hey, you're not planting. Usually you know that, but apparently I wasn't paying attention that time. Well, it didn't do this waterway any good. Honestly, we kind of need to get that waterway established all the way to the end. We've been planting through it, but it probably should be brome all the way to the edge of the field. This section right here really isn't that weedy yet. It would be if we don't spray it, obviously, but it's not that bad. Can you get through here, or is it all full of nettles? More nettles than I want to deal with. I think we'll walk around. If you haven't guessed it yet, I don't dress in a very common farmerly attire. Usually it's just shorts, tank top, sandals. It's just too hot down here. I don't know what happened here. We still had seeds, but nothing really came up in this spot. Which is kind of weird. And then you can see, this kind of upsets me a little bit. We had the co-op spray for us this year, and the guy came in and he, obviously the co-op uses way bigger equipment than we have, and he came in and he backed his boom up and then started going across the field this direction, but he was too far. This all used to be brome grass, really nice brome grass. Well, he killed all the brome, like you can see down there where it's nice and just grass. He killed all the brome. Now all the damn weeds came in where it was. If you want it done right, you do it yourself, I guess is the moral of that story. This is really cleaned out in here. You might remember when Tanner and I were doing the video about trail cameras and stuff, we were talking about Phragmites. It's a noxious weed in Nebraska, or maybe other places. I don't know if it's native or not, honestly. The county does not like you having it. And so this was sprayed here a year or two ago, and they didn't get very far because you can see where the line, that green over there is all Phragmites too. But this is what they killed with the spray. They had to come in with a helicopter to do that, which is kind of one of the reasons it doesn't get done very often, as it should, like it should, because having anything done by a helicopter is expensive. I guess as long as we're talking weeds here too. Yeah, plenty of milkweeds still on the perimeter, I know. At one point I think milkweeds were almost eradicated in this part of the country. They're making a comeback, and we usually let them go on the edge of the field. They kind of put out runners and come up wherever they want, but they're definitely not as much of a problem as back when we used to do milo and wheat. So what I think it is? No. I kind of thought that might be asparagus for a second. Just a damaged plant. There's Coyote Tracks. That's not Morgan. These are bigger than that. So far it's been pretty good. I see another one of those spots where my error of not turning on or off. But this is kind of a wash anyway. See, this whole business here is just a mess. Usually we try and go in there and plant just so that it's just so it's filled in. You don't really get a good yield or anything, but just to kind of fight the swamp back. And this year it was way too wet. I couldn't even get in there, so I just started here and pulled forward. But as you can see, they already weren't planting good over here. The further we go up this hill, the worse it looks. It's just thinning out, everything's chewed up more. Yeah, it's hard to look at. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. One's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's definitely going to be affecting some yield. This is terrible. Gary warned me. He looked at this yesterday and he said I was not going to like this part of the field. And I don't. Yeah, look at that. There's 8 feet there of just nothing really. The damn weed sure did survive though. Look at that. Happy little weed. Man, this is barren. If Morgan would not stand. Hey, can you move? Go that way. Thank you. Look at that. Row of really nothing. That's fresh growth. That's still green, so that'll grow. That's trying. They should still come up and make ears, but they're not going to be very good ones if they do. You know, you look at this and kind of makes you realize why depression is such a real thing with farmers. And look at that weedy mess. We should have sprayed this already, but it's been so rainy and then windy as hell. We just haven't been able to find a window when we can spray effectively. So we're gonna try and get up super early tomorrow and see if I can come over here and get some of this knocked out. Well, I didn't really see anything that I have to go replant as a result of user error or machine error. Before we go to the next field, we're gonna let Morgan do some swimming in the pond because it's hot as hell. Okay, here we are at the other field. This is the last one we planted. This was considerably later, so the corn was a lot shorter and therefore a lot more resilient. And it did not get hit nearly as bad as that other field. Good for the soul to know that it's not a complete wash, that's for sure. I can see 2 spots, one right there and one over there that I missed a little bit on. Looks like I forgot to turn the planter on at one point over there, or turn it off, or maybe it was, no, I think that was wet. I think both of those are wet spots. That other side over there is looking pretty good. Can you tell I'm trying to talk myself into going over there and looking because I really don't want to? Man, it is really steamy. Morgan really wanted to come out, but I think right now she's probably wishing she would have stayed home and was laying on the floor in the air conditioning. You know that song, here we go around the mulberry bush, blah, blah, blah. Mulberries don't grow on bushes, they grow on trees. Who wrote that song? What were they thinking? Okay, you know what? I've walked in far enough. This corn over here is barely damaged from hail. I'm 95% certain that I got all the spots that I need to get planted around here replanted. What are you doing in there? dogs. I don't think I missed anything on this field. I'm almost positive because I did go around a second time that day. And I think I'm kind of done with this for today.